It's comics. Silver-haired Bronze Age babe here, yakking about our comic book collection, and today another edition of Women's Libbers from Space. This story comes to us from 1971 from the famous Green Arrow, Green Lantern run that Neil Adams did the art for, and Denny O'Neil did the writing on this one. And, you know, instead of going through every plot machination on this, I'm not going to, suffice, because really, if you've been watching these videos about the Women's Libbers from Space, you know that the same themes come up over and over and over again, which is basically the boys at DC kind of taking the backs of their hands to the women's movement and portraying the feminists as angry, horribly angry women who are causing violence to men and brainwashing their sisters and trying to convince them to hate all men. And just to reiterate, that's not what that's not what the women's lib movement was actually about. It was about financial and social equality for the sexes. But anyway, now there is something I want to talk about with this issue. It is, you know, from a writer like Denny O'Neil, you'd expect better, but boy, we got much worse. The villains here are Harpies. Those are Harpies, Amazons, and Medusa. So it's it's kind of the greatest hits of brutal, aggressive, monstrous women. And perhaps he thought this was kind of a great satire, but I'm going to say no. There's one page I do want to point out that the basic story is that Harpies and Amazons have come to Earth to basically kill all men. Black Canary and Green Arrow and Green Lantern are enlisted to kind of basically stop this. They get the backstory of this, which is that at some point before our history, there was a society of Amazons and Harpies and a high priestess who were in charge of basically keeping the universe safe from evil elements. Now, at some point, this guy showed up. He's a wizard, and he asked the high priestess for her hand in marriage, and she turned him down. And this is the important part. And before the assembly, she scorned him, and the haughtiness of her laughter seemed to wither his very soul. So he takes his withered soul to his dark arts laboratory and comes up with a way to basically vanquish the Harpies and the Amazons and the high priestess. What I think is kind of interesting about this is that, you know, there's a famous quote by the writer Margaret Atwood, who has a theory that one of the reasons that men and women sometimes have a great deal of trouble working together and kind of finding common ground is that men are afraid that women are going to laugh at them, like that. And women are afraid that men are going to kill them, like that. So there's, so all to say that these themes and ideas have been around for a long time. And this page in particular, I think, gives credence to kind of what Atwood was talking about. The story continues, and, you know, again, the plot doesn't really matter. It's simply a mechanism to oh, look, here's a lovely photo. Here's a nice drawing of Medusa. You know, oy. The story ends with basically Black Canary saving the day, and the Amazons realize that, oh my gosh, you know, maybe we've been brainwashed. We don't have to kill all men. We can all live in harmony. Off we go. Thanks so much. See you later. Good luck, and all that. So there you go. My understanding is that Denny O'Neil apologized for this, as well he should, and later made an effort to keep this story from appearing in a compendium or a trade paperback collection of these. I'm not sure if that was successful or if it was successful for all of the subsequent reprints, but nonetheless, there you go. So there it is, another episode of Women's Libbers from Space. Thanks so much for stopping by. I'll see you next time.